Hello guys, welcome back. While I'm making lunch, I thought we're having chicken Alfredo, so I think everyone's really pleased. I want to talk to you about setting limits with Loki. We've talked about it in the past, but you know how recent events I've been feeling the Greek gods coming in, and then I've been feeling them go out again. And last night I said something really stupid to Apollo. I really You know those dumb things you say because you have trust issues? Well, I said something like that and was very heavily offended. And yet, during my dreams this morning, I could tell the Greek gods were still trying to talk to me. They were like, okay, she's kind of stupid, but she hangs out with Loki. What do you want? And Loki came tearing in, as he does, and was like, and didn't want any gods near me. And Loki decided to take personal offense at, my misunderstanding with Apollo. And he was putting all the blame on Apollo, and I got up this morning and I could feel the energy was really, really heavy in the house. And it felt extremely dark. I have a lot of lights on, that's why it's light. And yeah, it's overcast today, but it could feel like Apollo was brooding because he was still hurt, and I could feel this heavy energy of the gods waiting for me to do something because, 9 times out of 10, Loki gets his way. And I had put it all on the gods. I had said, well, if you guys can't fight with him, if you can't stand up to him and take your territory by force, you're probably not going to survive with him because he does this all the time. It's a Loki thing. He always has to, claw and see what he can get. And the gods didn't like that. And I went and I read my horoscope and it talked about various gods. And that's the one I like because it talks about the gods as if they're actual gods, not. And so I had a talk with Aries, and Aries is like, you don't realize this is your house, these are your rules. Yes, we're gods, but at the same time, it wasn't going to become, kind of like Clash of the Titans and the gods fighting. If I say a god can stay or a god can have this or that, then that's what they'll go by. And I'm like, I'm really not comfortable with this because you're putting all the responsibility on my shoulders. And I finally had to decide because Loki had been this morning. He says, I forbid you to talk to any of them. And remember, I'm your patron, and this and this and this. And he was kind of being angry about it, almost like it was like a borderline threat, which if you work with Loki, you're used to those. And I thought, you know what? If he wants to kill me, go ahead. I'm tired of overly babying him, which I know I do. And I'm tired of him letting a relationship go so far and then coming in and ruining it just because he can. And I said, no. I said, you go ahead, you can kill me, you can do whatever you want to me, but these gods want to come in and work with me. This was your grand idea in the first place. I was really reluctant to have this happen for various reasons and for a lot of trust issues. And I said, damn it, Loki. They're going to come in. I said, whatever you gods want, you do have to sort out by yourself because they seem to dither on what they want. But I said, any god that wants to work with me is coming in. So I went around and I greeted Apollo, Dionysus, and Hermes, and I greeted, Poseidon, and went around and greeted everyone. I said to Loki, I said, if you're mad, because I could feel this anger following me through the house. I said, if you're mad, you're mad. You're the one that actually started this fine mess. I would have been totally happy to shift totally back to Loki, and everything would have been easy peasy. Because I asked Aries, I said, what's going to happen? And he says, well, you have 2 paths, and you know what they are. And I said, yeah. One is default back to Loki, and only have Loki, and that's really warm, and that's really comfortable. But the other path was to go, to work with the Greek gods, and I couldn't see, I didn't have the foresight to see if Loki would be on that path as well. And I was kind of angry because I felt like I was being forced to choose between working with the Greek gods and having Loki here. But Loki himself has told me any god that forces you into a corner or demands soul worship isn't worth worshipping. He probably regrets some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth at times. So I said, okay, I'll work with the Greek gods. He can abandon me. If that's what he wants to do, he can go ahead and abandon me. And I'll be fine. Because where his thing was, and I think it's just something to do with it, Mothman popped into my feed out of nowhere. And if you don't know about the Mothman, he's this legendary creature that usually he appears to warn you of something. And I was like, okay, first I was looking up Moth Totem and everything, and then I'm like, because I saw a moth the other day, and then Mothman popped in. Then I'm like, no, this is a warning. This is, if you go down the one road, you're going to be really unhappy. But I didn't know which road because I had been studying Apollo last night. Worked with Apollo. Then I was supposed to study Apollo this morning. I forgot. So I told Loki, I said they're staying. And I was fixing lunch and everything, and I put the heat on because it's freaking cold. And Loki comes up behind me, and he's all happy and snuggly and gives me a hug, and I'm like, you're happy? And he's like, you set limits with me. I said, you've been pissed off and threatening to leave me and acting like you're gonna smite me. You set limits with me. You're the damn strangest god I've ever had, because this morning it was all about, you have to choose Loki, you have to choose Loki, or Loki's gonna go away. And I chose the Greek gods over him, and he's like, I love you, you set limits with me. I will never in a million years understand Loki. One day that's the right option, the next day it's the very wrong option, and how dare you. Give him time, he may blow the other way and be like, how dare you. But I was like, you know what? These gods are kind enough to keep coming back. I had stopped worshipping Apollo last night to get back to Apollo. I had stopped worshipping him because it felt like he didn't want held. And it felt like Hermes didn't want held, and it felt like Dionysus was checking out, so I kind of had drifted away again. And I was like, damn, I got all these statues and altars, and these gods have better things to do. And as I was doing meditation yesterday, Apollo showed up and he was highly offended. He was like, why didn't we get hell today? Why didn't we get attention? I said, I honestly didn't think you wanted attention. So it's this process of trying to figure out where everybody wants to be, but you do have to set limits with Loki. I'm the worst one to tell you that, because usually if Loki wants something, I'm like, oh, he got everything he wanted, now he's running through the house happy. I forget that he's like Baron like that. If Baron could take over this entire house and chase everyone else out and have only Baron here, even though it would put me up a creek without a paddle, he would do it. He would do it. That's in his nature, and it's in Loki's nature too. Loki can just be a little more whatever about it. So you do have to know when to set limits, and I can't tell you on a case. You just have to do it like a case-by-case basis. I thought I was really going to lose Loki. I thought he was walking out the door. He was definitely following me around angry, like, how dare you talk to these gods? And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna talk to these gods. And strangely, stuff worked out for me today on some stuff that I thought I was gonna have to buy, and then it turned out I didn't have to buy it. So some stuff has worked out for me. I just can't advise people some days with Loki, because the house energy feels good. I mean, I've got the heat on, I've got food in the oven. The energy feels better, but it still feels like there's this unresolved part of this conflict, which I'm not sure what that's about, but I have been having trouble communicating with the Greek gods. They did give me that dream this morning, but Loki pounced right in the middle, and any dream went pew! It was something about being at a mall. That's all I can tell you. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.